Good afternoon. We are going to start with our very first web page. We're going to start by programming our very first web page. So one thing you should note is that we're working in a language called HTML. HTML is a markup language, which means that it doesn't have like functions and loops like the Python language that we learned before. It's just going to have ways to create images and text on a web page. And you'll see the difference when we start programming. So this is a blank HTML page. It's called index.html. And when you open up your work, it's going to start with this. Okay. Now we have to put in what's called a boilerplate. So if you go into docs, you are going to see, just a minute, you're going to see some docs right here. So what I want you to do is I want you to copy this and I want you to paste it into this section right here. Okay. And we're going to modify it a little bit. So if I go to output and I refresh the output here, there's going to be nothing that shows up here because we haven't added anything yet. So I want you to note a couple of things here. First of all, it has this very first header at the very top. It says exclamation point doc type HTML. That tells the browser that the file that we'll be using is an HTML file. Note that it has this like little greater than or less than symbol and then HTML and then greater than symbol. This is called a tag. Okay. It is the HTML tag. And tags always come in pairs, meaning they come in two. There's always an opening tag, which just has the identifier here. This is an HTML tag. And then there is a closer tag. It's usually when I click on the first one, the second one is usually identified too. So the closing tag looks exactly like the opening tag, except it has this slash in front of it. Okay. So there's the opening and closing tag of the HTML. Then you have your head tag that opens and that closes. Inside that, you have a title tag. Then you have a body tag open and close and a script tag. We're going to eventually get rid of the script tag, but let's explain the different parts. Okay. The way that HTML works is there's something called a box model, where you have to picture these boxes getting smaller and smaller, being inside each other. Okay. They're like nesting boxes. So you have a big box, inside that you have a smaller box, inside that you have a smaller box, and so on. Okay. So the HTML opens and closes. Inside that, we have another small box here, which is called the head. The head, inside the head, we have an opening and closing title tag. Okay. The head opens and it closes. So just like your own body, the head here starts and finishes or opens and closes before your body starts. Okay. So if we consider your neck down your body, the head starts and stops before your neck starts. So same with these tags here. Now the body opens and then the body closes, and there's a script tag. This is for JavaScript. We are not going to cover JavaScript in this unit. So we are going to take this and delete it. Okay. And then I'm going to hit return a few times in order to have some space in the body. Now the head tag has something called title. And what the title is, it's going to be the title of the tab right up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the title with Intro to HTML Lesson. And you are also going to do this. Okay. And when I refresh it, you're going to notice that like nothing changes here. But if I use, this is a little, this little thing is like the pop out. It means like it's going to open a new tab that's going to show you your web page. So I'm going to do that. It's better to preview things like through this method than using this method down here. So I'm going to go here. And what you'll notice is that I have into, but it should say intro. This right here will be the title of the tab. So let me actually change it intro. And then I'm going to refresh it. And then over here, I'm just going to refresh this page and notice that this changed right there. Okay. Now, the things inside the head do not show on the body of the web page. So yes, this does show at the top here, and we're going to have other links that we're going to put in the head. So I can add things up here. We're going to put a link to the style sheet. We'll do that in the next video. But for right now, the head opens and it closes, and we're not going to put anything else in there. We are, however, going to go inside the body tag. And when I say inside the body tag, I mean any of the space between the open body tag and the closing body tag. That is referred to as inside the body tag. Okay. Now there's a number of other tags that we can use, starting with our header tags. Okay. So I'm going to do an open bracket. Oh, by the way, go to your settings and make sure you have these correct settings, okay? Make sure your parentheses autocomplete and you have wrap lines in your settings. And that way, you will see the things very similar to the way I see them. I'm going to start by putting H1. Now this is, and when I put the closing bracket here, notice it auto-completes with my closing tag, and my cursor is in between the two of them. You want to start typing now. You don't want to move your cursor, okay? And so if I put something here and I refresh it, I would actually see it on the web page, okay? Now these headings go, if I took these, I copied it and pasted it and changed it from H1 to H2, what you'll notice is there's another hello on the page, but it's smaller. The heading tags go from 1 to 8. And they get smaller in size every time you increase the value of the heading. Okay, so if I go to like, I paste this and I make this, I'll skip to H8, you'll notice that it becomes very small. Okay, and remember, if I wanted to see what this looks like, I would just go like this. And also notice there's nothing like fancy about this, right? It's just kind of a default font. It's a default font size. The default font color is black. You know, it's against the left side of the left margin. It's not in the center. We're going to be able to change everything about these styles using a style sheet, and that will be in the next video. But for us now, it'll be in 2 videos from now. But for us now, we are just going to work with um, the content on the page. Okay. All right. I'm not going to use H8, so I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to replace this with. I'm going to do a small web page about memes. Okay, memes, and I'm going to say, "What are they?" Question mark. So I'm sort of asking the user a question, right? And I'm going to actually put this as title case because. Okay. Now, I want to talk about memes a little bit. So I'm going to use an H3 because I want it to be kind of smaller than the H2. These are like my overall title and then my subtitle. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about um, the meme. Actually, you know, instead of H3, I'm going to use a paragraph tag. So replace that with paragraph and then go inside of the tag, which is the space between the open tag and close tag. Memes are a funny idea, oftentimes displayed as an image. Okay, so here it showed up. I don't know why it didn't show up for a while, but so what you'll see is like the heading tags are used for just titles and subtitles. And then if I want to write anything longer, I will often use a paragraph tag. Now, one thing that people often get wrong is they think that since they've used the tag one time that they're not allowed to use it again. And that is not the case. So let's say that I want to show the user like my favorite meme. Okay. I'm going to use the H2 tag again and say my favorite meme. Okay. And I'm going to skip because what I'm going to do in the next video is show you how to add an image. So imagine we're going to have an image here, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to add another paragraph tag and say, I'm going to use the image of the dog that's like inside of the burning room. So I'm just going to explain why I like it. Okay, so my explanation is just I think I like this because I often find myself having to think things are normal when in fact they are chaotic, right? I'm a parent, I'm a teacher. Sometimes it feels pretty chaotic in the classroom or at my house, and I just have to kind of push through and be like, everything's fine. Everything is going to be fine. So sometimes it feels like that to me. So right now, this is what I have on my page. You should have something similar. Everything should be the same except your explanation of the meme that you like. And you're just going to find a meme. It doesn't, I don't really care if it's your favorite or not. Just find one that you like and then explain it. And then in the next video, we're going to talk about like how to add an image.